Hi, you guys. My name is Matthew Lillard, and welcome one and all to the Dungeon Master Challenge. 600 submissions have been narrowed down to 10 finalists, and now we are down to the last three. These three finalists impressed our judges with their entries over a 6-week elimination process. Sergio Soloranzo introduced us to the land of Potassio, Brad Thompson drew us into the realm of Slumberwood, and Andrew Bishkinskyi brought us into the land of Neverfall. You guys, I cannot wait to see what unfolds today with my fellow judges, B. Dave Walters, Jennifer Kretschmer, Amanda Hammond, and Christina Ariel. It's going to be awesome.
Hello, my name is Andrew Bishkinskyi, and I will be DMing this wonderful session set in the domain of delight of Potassio, created by Sergio Solorzano, who is one of my co-contestants on the Dungeon Master Challenge. As this is a little bit of a unique game, I thought we'd do something a little bit unique in terms of introductions, and I've given our wonderful players a heads up. So I'm going to set the scene a little bit, and then you guys are going to get a chance to jump in and do a little bit more. So you find yourselves overlooking a green canopy as far as the eye can see, just greenery everywhere. You are on top of a large pyramid that rises above the canopy. It looks like a lush green forest, beautiful. There's large birds in the distance and everything. The only thing that's a little bit odd is that the sky is pink, which kind of tells you that, you're not in Kansas. Well, unless the sky is pink in Kansas, I'm not sure. I have not been to Kansas. In any case, you're there for a celebration in your honor. You are in the domain of Potassio. You have been invited by the Archfey Amarillo personally to celebrate you and to thank you for saving 2 pixies from this domain. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a little bit of a flashback of what happened that had you save these 2 pixies. So your group was traveling through the land of Chult, which is another jungle domain, much less pleasant. Lots of monsters, lots of things. So the way I'd like to do this is kind of collaborative. I hope you guys brought dice, right? This is D&D. Can I have everybody roll a D20?
Yes.
15.
15. What else we got?
11.
10.
11, 10.
I got a 1.
Ooh.
All
right, I'm missing 1 die. Who am I missing?
Christina.
Christina.
Oh, she might be
You're
muted.
muted.
I believe you are muted, ma'am.
A cone of silence has been cast upon Christina.
Oh,
Do you have a number for us?
I do. Natural 1.
oh no!
Oh,
2 natural
high
ones.
for
This
you.
is going great,
Get it.
guys.
Get them out of your system
Okay.
early. Maybe
I
low
think we
numbers
may
are
have
good. Low
saved these
numbers are good.
pixies. We saved these
All
pixies
right.
by accident.
Yeah. So, Matthew, you had the 15, correct?
Well, I just had a 1, so
Oh,
I
sorry,
re-rolled it.
B-Dave
I rolled a 12.
I have a 15, yeah.
Okay. B-Dave, since you have the highest roll, I'm going to give you the choice. Do you want to go first in what I'm going to ask, or do you want to go last and sort of watch what others do?
Not unlike the Supreme Court, I will go last.
Ooh. Okay, so we're going to turn it around then, and we're going to start with the ones. And we have 2 ones. Can I have you roll off to see who rolls?
I just rolled a 12.
Okay, cool. So, Christina, you will get to go first. You were traveling through Chult. Why was your party in Chult is the question that I'd like you to answer. And as you answer it, I'd also like you to introduce your own character.
Well, I think that we were in Cholt because there's a special bread that you can only get in Cholt, and we needed it for our party.
Cool.
Not our party, but our actual party having a party.
Okay. Okay, so you were in Chult searching for bread. And can you tell us about your character that you're playing?
Yes. So my name is Penny Wildcloak, and I am a Lightfoot halfling bard. I'm from a very, very small town, but I've got a really big heart and really big dreams, and I think I'm really gonna I like to talk a lot, and I just I think everything has a good story and everything has good in it, but also my mood changes, so who knows?
Okay. Perfect. Who had the 10?
That would be me.
Okay. Amanda, second question. You were traveling through Chult. You were looking for bread, but the jungles of Chult are dangerous, but also full of treasure. As you introduce your character, tell us some treasure. It could be a trove of treasure. It could be an individual piece of treasure. Something you found in the jungles of Chult as you were traveling.
Something we found in the jungles of Chult while we were traveling. So we were looking for this rare, fine, wonderful bread that's only found in Chult. And we maybe didn't find a loaf of it, but what we did come across was we came across the most most wonderful recipe of bread that was written in a scrawled out, torn out page from a notebook that had strange blotches all over it. Don't really know what it could be. It could be dirt, could be something else, but we think that this has real potential, and we're going to try to make this for our party.
Excellent. And tell us about the character that you're playing.
I am playing Shava Sithreth today. I am a wood elf barbarian of the wild magic. I am very good at controlling myself and being poised and charismatic and sharing my thoughts with my friends in a very restrained way. Except for no, I'm not, because I have an anger problem and sometimes I get really mad. I need the party to show people I can be friends.
I was going to say the barbarians are known for their keen sense of control. Okay.
Thank you. You understand me, Andrew.
Yes. Jennifer, in addition to introducing your character, the question for you is, you saved 2 pixies. Now, the pixies from the domain of Potassio, they tend to dress like fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what one of these pixies was dressed as, what fruit, and what their name was.
Ooh. I think that one of the pixies was dressed as a prickly pear. They have kind of spiky armor all over. But if they have a hat that if they lift it up inside, it's all glittery and sweet and delicious. So they'll just kind of scrunch it down, and when they get hungry, they can kind of scrunch it down and twist it, and they get a little trickle of juice. And I believe their name was, we'll go with Sabra.
Sabra?
Sabra, S-A-B-R-A.
Okay, Sabra. Cool. And tell us about the character that you're playing.
Yes, I am playing Melina, also known as Mouse. Melina, I am human. I'm a human, and I am a little bit of a sneaky sort. I also can use magic, which is a lot of fun. But you see, I lost my cousin as I was traveling, and I'm trying to find them and get back to them. I don't know where they went, and hopefully along the way we can find some information about my lost cousin. And on the way, I did meet this giant cat. And I have taken one of that cat's whiskers and strung it around my bow, and it is my bowstring. And that's why I'm called Mouse, because I think that cat is still chasing me.
Oh my God, that is amazing. Very cool. Okay, next over to Matthew. Tell us about the second pixie that you met. Which fruit were they dressed as, and what were their name, and then your own character.
Yes, my name is Lumbar. Lumbar is not right, and lumbar in the back of your back is not correct. But lumbar. I am a hobgoblin cleric who, at some point during the adventure, has removed his chainmail because it's so hot in Chult that I was taking a moment to rest and to gather my senses and cool off a little when I look up at a tree. And there is this glorious fruit, a giant pomegranate, dripping with juices. And as I reached to grab it, I was stabbed by a small pixie sword. And there, indeed, was a pixie dressed as a glorious pomegranate. I cradled it in my hand, and I said, God, you good and good, Pixie. What is your name? He looked back to me and he said, my name is Sir Gillum. And Sir Gillum and I became quick friends as I shared him with the group. And Sabra, he introduced me to his sister, Sabra, who was in the tree just nearby. And together we became friends. Did we not? We had the most glorious party that night. There we were in Schultz, hot as could be. But we celebrated our newfound friendship, our group, and these two beautiful, delightful creatures, pixies.
It's amazing. So, as you met these two pixies in Schultz, Sabra the prickly pear and Sir Gilm the pomegranate. And at some point after you met them, and it sounds like you partied together. I don't know if you traveled together, but certainly sounds like you partied together. At some point, you saved them from grave peril. B-Dave, you decided to go last, so you get the chance to tell us what you saved them from.
You know, I'd heard the stories about Cholt, and I didn't believe it. I thought the most treacherous thing was the heat and humidity that does not agree with tabaxi fur. But while we were there with my friends looking for this bread, I don't know why, carbs go right to my midsection, there was a dinosaur. But it wasn't just a dinosaur. It was an undead dinosaur. It was a zombie Tyrannosaurus. And we ran as fast as our legs could carry us. They stopped and were grabbing fruit that I realized later were apparently pixies. I wasn't clear on the details because I was busy running for my life, as I felt was the reasonable response.
Beautiful. And what is your character that you're playing?
I'm Leonis, roaring mane, warlock of the Archfey, and general gift to all sentients everywhere.
Beautiful. Everybody gets inspiration for that.
Hey!
I am very easy with inspiration, but you also very much earned it because that was really cool. So, you met pixies as you were traveling through Chult. You were attacked by a zombie T-Rex. Perhaps it was after the pixies rather than after you. And you saved them. And to reward you, they took you to the domain of Potassio, where Amarillo, the Archfey, has thrown a feast in your honor, where you currently find yourselves. Now, Amarillo is a young Archfey, relatively, and he's very eager to show off all the beautiful fruit, all his beautiful land. There is dancing everywhere, and everybody's very happy. Your pomegranate and prickly pear friends are partying along with their friends, and Amarillo can't stop thanking you for the wonderful service that you've done to Potassio. Suddenly, there is a commotion, and you see kind of coming up the stairs, because you're in this pyramid, and like there is a canopy top, and kind of rising out of the canopy top up the stairs comes this character who is accompanied by a horse-sized bat. Both of them are orange and wearing luchador masks. This character...
What's a luchador mask?
The Mexican wrestling mask.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes. So they're wearing these masks, which are both orange, and this giant creature the size of a horse, it looks like a bat, but it's like a furry bat, and it's accompanying this humanoid-looking creature, but you're not quite sure because he's wearing his masks. And Amarillo, from his throne atop the pyramid, said, El Platador, you have come to meet our heroes. And the masked creature says to him, yes, so-called heroes, but everybody knows that I am the true hero of Potassio. These could not, surely their feat could not have been greater than mine. And Amarillo says to him, well, the Sabra and Pomegranate were very clear. There was a zombie T-Rex, and they saved him from the zombie T-Rex. And El Platador turns to you, and he says, if it is true that you were such heroes, tell me how you did it. What weapons did you use on this T-Rex? What manner of traps? What did you do? How did you best him? Surely if I was there, I would have bested it with a headlock. And you can see, proportionate.
I'm sorry, I don't know that your arms could reach around the size of this thing. It was huge.
My arms are as long as they need to be.
You talk a good game for somebody who never fought an undead T-Rex for.
Well, show me how you fought it. Bring the broccoli. And you see a couple of people who are also wearing these orange masks. They come bearing this giant piece of broccoli that looks like it could be wielded like a club, potentially by two people because it's massive. But a lot of the fruit here in Potassio are quite big, as you've noticed. So they're bringing out this giant piece of broccoli, and they drop it at your feet. And he stands there like this with his arms on his sides, and he says, show me how you beat it with that. You can attack me and have no worry for the broccoli. The broccoli does not deserve to live.
Shava. I think he wants to fight. Shava.
She is already in front of you, Leonis, as she just kind of bulks up and she's like, I was getting ready to show all my weapons and all the cool things that we did and the jumping off and the cleaving and the chopping, but I can chop the broccoli too. And she heaves up the big piece of broccoli and starts swinging it around in a 360 degrees circle to show off her technique.
Is your intent to show off, or do you want to actually try to hit him with it?
No, it's to show off and be intimidating and show this is the way that we did it. Just like Penny said, you talk a big game for a guy who's never fought a T-Rex.
Sure. Give me your choice of a charisma, either intimidation or performance check.
Sure. So let's see. This is not going to be fantastic. 17, sorry.
17. El Platador will roll against you.
Is he also showing off?
He does some handstands and showing, standing on one arm and that sort of thing, just showing off his muscles, posing. He rolls a 15. And what happens is, as he poses very dramatically, he tries to kind of do a flip. And as he flips forward, he flips right into the swinging broccoli and kind of gets a face full of broccoli. And everybody kind of laughs, and he stands up and he goes.
It's really important that you eat your vegetables.
He says, yes. I was intending to become the T-Rex for this demonstration. Yes. Very well. I am convinced that you may have faced a small T-Rex in the jungle.
Big T-Rex.
That was a small one?
Undead T-Rex.
Its breath was terrible.
Big.
If that was a small one, I don't want to meet a big one. Just saying is all. They're just, it was,
So you show up El Platador. Amarillo claps. He says, very good, very good. This is so fun. And you continue sort of at the celebration. As you go around the celebration, you learn certain things.
Andrew, real quick,
Matthew?
before you jump in, I just want to say, whatever he's doing, I don't trust him. I don't feel like his ego is going to let this moment just pass. So
Okay.
as the entire night's going on, I am 100% only focused not on Amarillo or this celebration. My only focus is to watch him and to make sure whatever he is going to do to ruin this celebration, I see it coming.
So you follow him around as the celebration goes on, and you kind of watching what he's trying to do. Can you give me let's do a wisdom perception check.
Okay. I rolled a 4. Here's the thing. While I'm watching him, I'm also drinking. I've never had such incredible sangria. I mean, this is like Potassio has this unbelievable elixir. And as we're going, I'm drinking, and I'm a cleric. I don't drink that often, and I find myself enjoying myself maybe a little too much.
So you find yourself drinking, and you end up completely losing sight of El Platador. However, you end up talking to some people about El Platador, and you hear some bizarre rumors about what El Platador is.
Oh, really?
At least one person tells you that El Platador may be a bored archfey from another domain who just hangs out here and, likes to make trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Others tell you that he is actually a human adventurer that is stuck here. So you end up drinking, and you end up losing El Patador, and you have no idea what's going on with him. But you do learn some things.
Okay, I'll collect, as I've lost them, I'll collect the rest of the group and pass along the information that I've acquired over the course of the night.
Okay, so while you were out enjoying yourself, what was the rest of the group doing, B-Dave?
Do I see El Platador? Because I'm actually going to try and not be around him on purpose. Because the moment I get out of view of him, I'm going to cast Disguise Self and make myself look like El Platador.
Okay, you can give me a wisdom perception check to see if you can spot El Platador,
right.
or safely know that he's not around.
All right. RNGesus has been against me this whole time. I'm going back to the chance cubes. 15.
15 is okay. So you kind of look around. You don't see anyone. You change into El Platador. And what would you like to do now that you are El Platador?
I'm just soaking up all the free drinks and food in hero worship and adulation. I make a point I don't let anybody touch me because the disguise self won't hold. But I'm like, yes, I'm El Platador. I am glorious. I shall have this, and I'll have some of this. Also, send some over to those people visiting, especially the small one, Penny. She has a prodigious appetite. Yeah, but while I'm schmoozing, I am keeping an ear out for any gossip.
Okay, so I think with your spell, I think you actually pick up some interesting tidbits about the domain itself, and what you pick up is this. A couple of adoring fans approach you. And they're like, "Oh my God, El Patador! Oh my God! Can you sign our leaves and whatnot?" And
put it on the table. And also El Platador. We want I work for tips.
Excellent. So these two pixies that approach you, they say, "Is it true that you've been to the lower level? Is it true you've been to the? Is it true you faced the Myconid King's monsters?"
Yes, El Platador fears nothing and no one. El Platador is glorious, along with my companion Pepita. You have seen our move, the Pepita Punisher, I believe, yes?
Yes. Where is Pepita?
She is outside stretching her wings. Should we have to do a demonstration later? She's restraining her strength. But yes, it is true. I have been below. I have faced the Myconid King, and he knows not to come up here and face my wrath again.
Oh my God. Oh, you are so amazing.
Yes,
I'm going to
know.
have to tell my friends.
Yes, please tell everyone.
So that's one of the things that you learn.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Going to the rest of the party and the party at the party. What is the party doing at the party? What are some of the rest of you trying to accomplish, or just what would your characters like to be doing? Who'd like to go?
So Shava is having a great time playing with this giant stalk of broccoli that she's used to humble the actual El Platador. She doesn't know what's going on over there with Leonis and pretending to be. That's none of her concern. What she's doing is she has just started playing with the broccoli, smashing it up and down and side to side. And are there other little pixies around? Little fruit pixies?
Yes.
Okay. So as they seem to be paying attention to what she's doing, they're giggling and hopping on. I assume she is basically creating a carnival ride for the pixies, waiting for some of them to jump on the stalk of broccoli, flipping them up in the air, catching them again with the broccoli, and just sort of laughing and guffawing it up. Everyone jump on and get a ride. The heroes of Potassio. That's us. We're heroes. I'm a big hero. This stalk of broccoli is a big hero. Come one and come all and enjoy our fun. Flip, 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 flip. She's just going to keep doing that until someone stops her.
So you play with the pixies and you play with the broccoli. They all seem to be like, they don't like the broccoli because it's all about fruit up here and sweet things, and they find broccoli kind of distasteful, which is maybe why El Platador gave you the giant broccoli. But, they're happy playing on it. They do tell you that when it comes to fruit and vegetables, the fruit and vegetables in Potassio have special properties, especially the fruit. But you must never, ever eat a holy banana from Potassio without Amarillo's permission, for he has been known to banish and curse those who would do so without his permission.
I see. Do I have a sense of what the holy banana does if one were to eat it?
They say that it has lots of healing properties and other magical effects. But they say the other fruit also have magical effects. Just don't touch the bananas.
No holy bananas. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to playing with my broccoli.
Okie dokie. All right. Going back to the rest of the party. At the party, Malena or Penny, what are you doing?
I'd like to sneak after. I guess I'm curious about what is happening in this domain, and I think probably the best place to get that information is by kind of sneaking around near Amarillo. So I'll just kind of wander around following Amarillo and kind of hiding in the shadows to see what's going on.
So you follow Amarillo. Give me I'm thinking it's probably a dexterity stealth roll because you're trying to stay out of the way, unless you think it's something else.
That seems right to me. It's a 16.
Yeah, it's a 16. Okay. So everybody's at the party and everybody seems to be having a pretty good time. So you manage to get around without much trouble. Amarillo seems to be in a very, very good mood. he seems to be pleased that his pixies were saved. He is enjoying how the party is going. He kind of likes the fact that El Platador was put in his place a little bit, and things are going well. While you were kind of doing that, you overhear a couple of his servants kind of whisper between each other, and what you overhear is, "Oh, he's in a good mood today. That means no rain. It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be a good night then." So that's what you hear.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So they seem to be particular, and this is said with a lot of gravity. Like they seem to be very concerned about this possibility of rain, and they're very happy that there isn't. Is there
Okay.
anything you'd want to do with that information? Or are you just hanging out and just?
I think I probably would take that back to the rest of the group. We don't really actually, we know the pixies here, so I'm gonna go see if I can find either Sabra or Sir Gilm, and kind of get a little bit more information on the rain and why these people seem so concerned about it, and also what Amarilla's mood would have to do with that.
Yeah. So you go looking for them, and you do find them. I do want to jump over for a moment to Penny just to see where she is at this moment in time before we come back to the pixies. Penny, what are you doing?
Well, it's a party. So I went and did what I usually do at any party, and I find the tallest person in the room, and that's the person I want to talk to, because I feel like they understand what it's like to be really tall, and I understand what it's like to be real, real short, so we'll be friends.
Okay. You find actually an Eladrin, and this Eladrin is wearing an elaborate celery stalk costume.
Oh.
And it is very tall.
Hi, I like your broccoli.
It says, it is meant to be celery, but perhaps it is not the wrong shade of green.
I don't eat vegetables, so I don't know.
Don't eat vegetables? So you fruit only then?
Yeah, I like fruit, and I like some meat, like when you take like a boar and you slice it up and you have like little fingers, like little you can like dip them and stuff. But like most of all, I just like I don't like broccoli or celery or any of that kind of stuff.
Well, we don't grow meat in Potassio, but I suppose that the beasts of the levels, some have been known to hunt them, but it is very dangerous below. I prefer to stay to the canopy level.
But do you have like, I really like bananas, because Potassio, like I could have a banana.
And his eyes kind of light up. He says, "You must not eat the bananas. They are sacred, and our Lord would not take kindly on those who test without his permission. Perhaps I know that we're celebrating your feat, but it would take perhaps an even greater feat to earn a banana from Amarillo."
I only have one size shoe.
That is fascinating. My friend just texted, and I have to go. And the celery stalk excuses themselves.
Bye.
So after talking with the celery stalk, you regroup, those of you who wanted to come back together, and Milena had some news, or well, all of you have learned a little bit something, so who'd like to share what?
I share everything I heard, yeah. I don't try and hide any of it.
Same.
So just reviewing real quick. So the Myconoid King, he's either a bored archfey or a human. No rain.
No,
No.
the wrestler El Platador might be aboard Archfey.
Yeah.
There were a
I'm
couple of
impersonating.
rumors about who the wrestler actually might be. No one
Oh
seems
yeah,
to
that's
know.
that's right. Yeah, and or a human adventurer who's stuck here.
Right.
But the Myconoid, the El Platador went down and fought the Myconoid King, correct?
Yes, that's one of the rumors. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the rumor about don't eat a banana, and then the rain.
Yeah,
And then-
the king has to stay in a good mood. That's why there's no rain, because he's happy.
Right.
And they keep
Okay,
talking
good.
about the kind of other region that's down below, which is where the Myconid King was. It's that there's carnivorous creatures down there. That it sounds like it's a scary place based on the information we're getting.
Do we
Treacherous.
have any sense of what we should be? I mean, I don't see what we should be doing except for having this sort of celebration of ourselves. So are we going to keep celebrating? I mean, El Patador seems a little worrisome, but I haven't seen him in a while. Just doing a perception check or investigate or whatever you want. Do we see him around? Where is he?
Sure. Give me a wisdom perception check.
Stand by. Stand by. Perception. There it is. Sorry. I got 19.
Nice.
Hey,
19.
finally.
No.
Excellent.
See beyond.
So, you actually notice that El Platador, along with Pepita, are engaged in what seems to be like a good-natured conversation with Amarillo and his sister Chiquita, who is the
banana. You can't eat a Chiquita. I get it now. Okay.
Yes.
Copy that.
So they seem to be talking off to the side, and there seems to be no particular trouble that you can tell. But just as you're looking in that direction, Milena, you had gone looking for Sarba and Sir Gilm, and they happen to fly over to you at the moment.
Oh, hello, friends. Are you enjoying the feast?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. We're so happy that we made it back. We don't like to go into Chult, but sometimes we have to go, and sometimes we like to explore. But, thanks to you, we made it here safely. We're so happy.
Oh, I'm so glad. I just was curious because we've never been here before, and it's a beautiful place, and you have such lovely fruit and such lovely clothing that resembles the fruit. But why? Okay, I heard some rumors flying around a bit from some of the servants about something about the rain and Amarillo, or is it Amarillo? I'm not sure what it is here and how you pronounce things, but that there might be that something is about keeping their mood good. What's going on here? We're new. We don't know what's happening.
Oh, you see, if he's not happy, sometimes the rain happens, and the rain is not good, because you see the rain, and just as the Pixie's speaking, you and the Pixie are hit by this enormous drop of green rain.
Oh,
Just like it's like a bucket has been poured out on you. It kind of washes away the Pixie. And as all of you look around, these drops of like light greenish, really oddly colored rain just start hitting down, and they start washing everybody down this pyramid that you're on. And as you as you look around, you hear, you see Amarillo.
I think Amarillo is fine. It's all.
Yeah,
you're fine.
yeah. You see Amarillo look up, and he said, "It should not be raining. I am happy. There should not be rain." And as you hear him kind of proclaim this, the rain just gets harder and harder, and you start getting washed away down into the canopy. can I have everybody make me a dexterity saving throw?
Yes.
I am a cat. This is terrible.
Can I see this rain?
Oh, yes, you have advantage against the
Yes.
rain, the giant
Okay.
green raindrops.
16.
Got it.
I was entirely unprepared. That is a 1, so it's a 6. Yeah. Oof.
So, as you are washed down, it is not particularly dangerous. If you fail, you take 8 points of slashing damage, and the DC was 13. So if you got 13 or higher, you take 4, and otherwise you take 8. So you find yourselves being washed, and it takes longer than you kind of expected because you keep hitting these soft tree leaves and stuff like that. So you're not super hurt as one would expect to, if one fell, 100 to 100 meters, but because you're kind of sliding off leaves, etc., and you find yourself eventually hitting the ground. And as you hit the ground, it is fairly dark around, and beyond maybe 30 feet, it's completely dark. And you hear a feminine voice out of the darkness say, "You're not welcome here." Like very sort of strongly. And then you see coming towards you, you see 3 of these horse-sized bats that you had seen before, that Pepita is one of, except these look strange. They have these like fungal growths on them, and their wings look like they're buckling under the fungal growth, so they look like they can't fly even if they wanted to. They're walking towards you, and not in a pleasant way. And we're gonna roll initiative.
I would just
Nice.
say between the water and all of this, Leonis lets out very much the wet cat noise with no chill whatsoever.
Makes you
As
easy
we're
to
going into a
find.
niche, as we're going into a niche, I'd like to lay my hands on Shava to give you advantage on the blessings of the hidden path be with you. You get advantage on your niche roll.
That is
Excellent.
very cool.
It's
Okay,
19 for me.
14
Thank
for
So,
me.
Lumbar.
Sorry, let me just go around. So Shava, because I'm going to go around the order that I see you here. So Shava, what is your initiative?
22.
Okay, wow. Shava 22, and Milena.
I have
Or Mouse?
14.
14 would be Milena. And our cat friend.
19.
19 for Leonis. All right, the Lumbar.
17.
17. Wow, you guys have the drop on these things.
For once. It's been a long
Thank
day.
goodness.
Penny? You're muted.
Muted.
18.
Although yes, I was reading lips and I thought it might have been 18.
Nice.
I
Someone
can't
took the
read
observant
lips.
feat. Oh.
Honest and
Play Jen.
Penny. Okay, so 3 of these large horse-sized bats are coming towards you. They look very aggressive, and Shava, you get to act first.
All right. So they look like they're being pretty aggressive, right? Coming at
Yeah.
us, ready to attack. All right. Are they in a line? Is there one that's closer to me?
Yes, there's one that is probably 15 feet away from you.
All right. Well, I'm fully in my battle stance, and I'm ceremoniously taking out my great axe from behind my back, as of course it was on there as we tumbled down the pyramid, and saying, "We didn't want to fall down here. We didn't want to come into your domain. But if it's a fight that you want, let's fight!" And she flies into a rage as a bonus action.
Okay.
And if I can run up and attack the one that's nearest to me, I will do that.
Okay, roll to hit.
All right. So first of all, because I'm a barbarian of the wild magic path, I actually need to roll a d8 to see what happens when I go into my rage. Something random might happen. So in that split second, in that split second when you see her face completely change and the rage take over it, you hear her just mumble almost inaudibly, incomprehensibly, "Wild magic, take over! Help me defeat these creatures!" And I'm going to roll my d8 to do a thing. Okay. All right, so that's a 6. So until my rage ends, I am going to be surrounded by swirling, pulsing, multicolored lights. This is going to give me a +1 bonus to my AC as they are protecting me. And while allies are within 10 feet of me, they also get this +1 bonus to their AC.
Okay, beautiful.
From my wild magic. All right, so now as the colors are swirling around me, shooting out aggressively, I will go ahead and whack with my axe. Which will probably, a 6 is probably going to miss.
A 6 does miss. So you try to swing at this thing, and even though it's ambling and kind of not really like particularly agile, it just happens to amble just at the right time as you swing and miss. Anything else for you?
Nope, that will be it for me.
Okay. Lonis.
Is it possible for me to drop a 20-foot? I have a 20-foot cube that I would like to get this strange woman and the horse-like bats, but not get Shava in it. Is it possible for me to arrange it in such a way?
So you heard the voice. You only see 3 strange bat creatures, but you can give me a wisdom perception check if you like. What is your dark vision like?
I don't know that Tabaxi have dark vision, oddly enough.
Well, there is a little bit of light in this area, so go ahead, make your roll.
That is going to be 19.
Okay. So you are unable within the range of your vision, despite the fact that you've taken in the situation pretty well. You don't see any woman. You only see the 3 bat-like creatures.
I'm going to drop fairy fire on them, but I'm going to drop it where they're on the edge of the fairy fire and 20 feet back in a cube. So if she's just invisible, I'll get her, but just kind of hit them with it. It's wisdom. It's a dex 13.
Okay. I have 2 fails and 1 pass. So 2 of them are now glowing.
Glowing, and anybody that attacks them will have advantage against them. And I'll just say out loud, it's not polite to hide from guests when I hit it.
What color are they glowing?
Yellow.
All right, so you've got 3.
Shout out to Amaria.
Nice. All right, anything else for you?
I'm actually, once I do that, I'm going to move further back so that I'm not only a Shava there, but I'll get Lumbar between me and them also.
Sounds good. Penny, there are these 3 monstrous creatures, 2 are glowing yellow, which may or may not be making them even more strange.
Oh, that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to fight him. So I would like to... Actually, you know what? I would like to cast Friends, my cantrip, on the one that is closest to me. And that's a cantrip, so that's automatic. And then for the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice that isn't hostile towards you. When the spell ends, the creature realizes you use magic and becomes hostile towards you.
I think it is hostile towards us, though.
But not me directly. I'm just kidding. So I'm actually, what I will do is I will use invisibility at the 2nd level. And for my bonus action, I am going to give, who comes after? Who's next? Is that Lumbar? So I'm going to give Lumbar. I'm going to give Lumbar Bardic Inspiration as a bonus action.
Excellent. So you have Bardic Inspiration. Anything else for you, Penny?
I'm just going to go, I'm casting invisibility and just moving closer.
Sounds good.
Invisible.
Excellent. Lumbar, you are what kind of cleric?
The cleric of the hidden path.
And what special powers do clerics of the hidden path have?
Well, they allow. So there's a couple things I could do. They allow two people to see dark vision, and I can give that as an action. I can also cast, which I considered doing, but I'm not gonna go that way. I'm gonna cast See Invisible.
Okay.
Because I do. These creatures are not what. We do not have any issue with these creatures. We have issues with you, woman. And I cast See Invisible. Show yourself!
So you cast See Invisibility. And with your dark vision, which a cleric of your type has quite a good range, you see about 20 feet behind where the creatures are, standing against the tree, there is a woman who seems to have wood-like skin to her. You might recognize this creature as a dryad. Now, you see that her hands are covered with some of the fungus that is on these creatures.
Clearly, some kind of condition that needs to be resolved.
Except it is dripping off her hands.
Oh, she has poisoned these creatures. She is the reason.
And
Sorry, I don't know why I'm screaming at you, Andrew.
You also see, because you cast See Invisibility, and I'm going to give you seeing all the things, you see that there are tears coming from her eyes, and the tears are this very strange green color.
Same green as the rain?
Green as the rain, and...
Same exact green. Same exact green as the rain.
So the question is, can I do a percent? I mean, I'm in the middle of combat. I've got these bats coming at me. I've got her in the distance. I'll say, I see her! I see her! And I'll go right. I'll take attacks of opportunities from these bats.
Okay.
And go right, and I'll go charging through to her. Boom, boom. Hobgoblin, like, making his way. Follow me on the hidden path!
Okay, so you charge towards her. One of them hits you for the roll's a 21 to hit. Does 21 hit you?
It hits.
Don't forget.
Okay, so
damage.
If you're in your
you are +1. Yep.
on your
Okay.
AC.
I still get hit.
Okay.
So you get hit. You take 9 points of damage from the bat.
That seemed like a lot, Andrew.
The other two missed you. But the other two missed you.
How do you know the woman's name is Andrew?
So when you get there, you see that the fungus that's dripping from her hands, it's dripping from her hands, and behind her is a dead one of these things. It's kind of beside a tree.
Okay. So in this moment, as I'm approaching, the one that's dead against the tree, does she have the same kind of green liquid coming from her, or no?
The dead thing, yes, that looks to be its blood. Like it bleeds this kind of fungal thing. It's kind of purplish.
Okay. All right, good. So I'm assuming I can attack because, obviously I can't attack, but
No.
I will move within melee.
Okay. So you get to the dryad. Is there anything you want to share with the rest of your party, or are you just over there and ready to
Yeah,
fight?
I'm happy to. She's here. She's here. She is. I'll say. She is the source of this fungus. She's bleeding green. One has dropped, and I shall drop this one if she does not drop me first.
All right.
Lettuce, Pretty, Mouse, Shava, help.
All right.
No.
And that brings us to Mouse.
I hear Lumbar calling for us, so I'm gonna dash forward. So I will sprint forward to follow Lumbar in his path. What do I see when I get there? Is there anything that I can see that was not already described?
Can you make me a wisdom insight check?
Absolutely. 19.
19. The dryad does not seem, her posture does not look to be hostile towards you or Lumbar, who is trying to attack her.
Lumbar, wait, I think she's infected. What happened to you? What happened here?
She says, these creatures, they come from the Myconid king. He has corrupted them. They do not belong here. They're unnatural.
How can we
That's
help?
probably not the voice she would have.
How can we help? Can we?
She says, destroy them. Help me destroy them.
Okay. Then I will turn and I will cast. She's not hostile towards us, and they are, correct?
Yes.
Then I'm going to attack, I guess. I will use Chromatic Orb. No, actually, I'm going to run up behind. Do I still have movement left?
Sure.
Okay. May I go up to the one that Shava is near and sneak attack, please?
Sure. And you have
with-
advantage.
X.
It's glowing.
So 15 so it's a 17 to hit?
That'll hit.
Okay. And my damage is going to be 5 plus. It's 10 points of damage with my short sword.
So you strike this one down, and as it falls, its companions realize that they are overmatched now that you're not attacking the dryad, and they flee. Now the dryad.
You better run.
The dryad introduces herself as, sorry, what is her name? Maquita. And when she does, you recognize her name because when you found the journal with the bread recipe in the beginning, amongst the old notes that had been in the journal, there was a variety of writings, but some of the notes spoke of a knight named Reyna, and their search. Did we just cut out?
No. Okay.
No.
Oh, sorry. And their love for a dryad. It spoke of them having been banished from Potassio and unable to return. Shava, you're the wild magic barbarian, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You have a special sense for magical energies. And when it is brought closer to the dryad, the journal that you have begins to glow with magic. And you find within it, there is a gem.
We didn't see this before, guys, but there's something strange going on here.
And as you draw it out, she approaches and she says, "This was the necklace that I gave to Reyna before she was banished. She said that she would never part with it. She says, perhaps if you have this, that means that she is gone now." That's what she says. What do you guys say?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Shava
She
will
says, Sorry, go ahead.
Shava will take the necklace in her hand and look at it and look back at her friends, and she sees Melina just sort of welling up and the others seemingly listening to these conversations, and just extend her hand forward to the dryad. "Well, then this must be yours."
And she takes it, and the green tears from her eyes disappear, and she blends back into.
Maybe we can escort you back up to the surface and we can talk all about it at the banquet. Quite a party going on up there, you know.
Yeah. And I think we're at time. There's a lot of noise.
Christine.
Could have got some bananas for our banana bread.
You could, you would when you returned upstairs.